Most libraries are filled with books, but this one, it's filled with ghosts. Not the kind that haunt houses, but the kind that haunt hearts. The things we were too afraid to say, the apologies we choked on, and the I love yous that stayed buried in our throats. Deep in the midst of the forgotten valley stands the silent archive. It's a towering structure of glass and silver wood, where the air hums with 1,000 wings. This is where Mr. Silas lives. He is a man with hands stained by ink, and eyes that have seen 1,000,000 secrets. He doesn't collect books. He collects ink birds. Every time someone writes a letter they never send, that letter transforms into a bird and flies here. Elara arrived at the archive on a Tuesday, her eyes red-rimmed and her shoulders heavy. 3 months ago, she had screamed at her father. She told him she never wanted to see him again. That night, his heart stopped. She had spent 90 days drowning in the silence he left behind. She was convinced he died believing she hated him. She begged Silas to find her father's bird. He must have written something, she sobbed. He was a man of few words, but he always had a pen in his pocket. Silas led her through aisles of glowing jars. Some birds were bright gold, promises of future joy. Others were a bruised purple, words of anger. They found her father's jar in the corner of the father's regret section. But when Silas opened it, the bird didn't sing. It was a pale, translucent white, almost invisible. Elara held it, and it felt like a cold stone in her palm. When the bird unfolded its wings, the paper was blank. "He had nothing to say to me," Elara whispered, the heartbreak shattering her voice. "Even in death, he has nothing for me." Silas placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Look closer, child. Some ink is only visible when it's washed in tears." As Elara's tears fell onto the translucent paper, letters began to bloom like flowers in the snow. It wasn't a letter from her father to her. It was a letter her father had written to himself. Years ago, on the day she was born. It read, "Today I held the world in my arms. I am a clumsy man, and I know I will fail her. I will be too quiet when she needs a song, and too stern when she needs a hug. But let this paper remember what my tongue cannot. She is my only masterpiece. If we ever drift apart, let her find her way back to this moment, where she was simply everything." Elara realized her father hadn't died with a grudge. He had died with a lifetime of unspoken adoration, that he was simply too broken to voice. The invisible bird turned into a warm, golden light and dissolved into her chest. She wasn't carrying his silence anymore. She was carrying his peace. She walked out of the library, and for the first time in months, the sun didn't feel like an insult. We often wait for the perfect moment to say what matters. But time is a thief that doesn't care about your timing. Love isn't just the words we say, it's the intentions we carry. Don't let your love become an ink bird in a silent library. Say it now.